All right, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Appreciate everybody being here. First off, big shout out to the environment created by our fans, our people, Miami Hurricane family that came from all over, local and from abroad. They were awesome, and watching that was brought back some awesome memories of playing in this game, and certainly our players felt them and impacted the game. And then on top of that, obviously a very hard-fought game, and we never really lost control of the game, but it took us a little while to start pulling away. I think they did a good job with some of their coverages, and they did put a little bit of pressure on the quarterback, but we pounded the ball really well. Ran the ball well, got downhill, got hats on hats, and ran through tackles. We were aggressive with some fourth downs. The defense was the story of the game. They just played their tails off. They were putting pressure on the quarterback. They made it really difficult to run the football. They were getting 11 heads to the ball all the time. They broke free from several just lasso, collar, holding calls that we just got to keep getting better at. But all in all, just very proud of our team. 2 years ago we stood up here and talked about building it, and it's good to, a couple of years later into this, to see a victory like that and earn the title of state champions. So, questions, please.
Mario, what kind of a moment was it for the team, for Mark Fletcher after the week that he had to have that moment over the score?
And that's as hard as it gets. That was, we see Big Mark all the time. He's always at practice. It's kind of neat if you're a local player. Parents, they find their way to practice, get away from their bosses for a little bit and come out and get to see their son. It's one of the greatest things in the world. I remember seeing my parents, may they rest in peace. And that was, that's about as difficult as a thing I've seen. And Mark Jr. is about as good of a human being, competitor, teammate, brother, as you could imagine. And that was felt by the entire organization. I mean, everybody knows him. He's got the best team in the house going forward, looking from above. And, I know he's super proud of Mark.
Did you talk to Mark at all about whether he wants to play tonight or how determined he was to play tonight?
Mark, even the day of, as emotional as it was, wanted to be around his brothers and his team. You trust that guy with your life because he does everything the right way, regardless of situation, circumstance. And then just looking at him and just hearing him out, this was what he wanted, and on top of that, just as importantly, it's what he deserves. And I think him and Damien are super tight, and those two, along with, of course, AJ, Jordan, and Chris. I mean, it's a tremendous tandem back there, and it was good to see them have a great day.
What does it say about him that he was able to have the type of game right out of the gate that he had for you guys tonight?
Talking about Mark?
Mark, yeah.
Yeah, I think if any of us was in that situation, can you imagine? Can you imagine, being able to do that? So just a unique, elite, off the charts human being. He's just made of the right stuff, and a credit to his parents. He was raised a certain way. The guy's as resilient as it gets. Our hearts, man. What can you say? I'm sure if,
Mario, the first 2 years that you were here, Florida State outscored Miami 72-23 in the last 2 years. You as a head coach, the pendulum swung, and you have your first one as a head coach versus Florida State, most hated rival. How does that personally feel for you?
It feels good because it's good for the team, because the team is working on it. I think about maybe some of the personal stuff in the off season for a few minutes, and I just blow it off. It's never been that. We knew when we came here that we're going to get our teeth kicked in early. I probably spoke to several people in this room about, man, wow, this is quite a monumental task. We got to flip this thing. We got to flip this roster. All these other in-state schools are so far ahead. They have a foundation. They've been to bowl games. They've won conferences, and we got to start it up. And that's painful, particularly when it comes to the trenches. And I think the trenches tonight are a great indication of progress. A lot of hard work by our entire organization, recruiting staff, our offensive line coach, Alex Mirabal, Coach Pata, Coach Reggie Bain, our defensive line coaches, Taylor, Salavea, Stroud, Santana. It's a great example of working your butt off and keeping your head down and not worry about all the crap that comes with rebuilds, you know. And I think it's good for, you know, young coaches to not ever hesitate to take on a rebuild if they believe in it, because deal with all the crap and nonsense for a little bit and then start putting it together, start getting wins. So we're progressing, but we're not anywhere near where we want to be yet.
148 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns tonight for Damian. There's not many guys in the history of the series that have done that, believe it or not. I think it's only like 10 or 11 that have ever done that in the same game in 69 years. You said earlier in the week that guys who haven't played in this game have an understanding of it, and he certainly seemed like he has an understanding of what this
Oh, yeah, and he's been in some big ones, you know, and I think what people don't realize, he got here a little bit later than the rest, so his learning curve was a little bit different. Everybody wants to happen right now, and our summers are awesome. Like our training regiment, the way our player-led workouts are carried out, they're just elite, but it still takes time, and you know, we're chucking the ball around really well early on, and today we still threw it around okay, but not as effective. But the last couple of weeks, you see the running game now getting in sync, right? Now you see how, you know, we run a lot of different plays than what he ran, you know, when he was at Oregon State, and now he's really feeling comfortable in the system. And what you see is an absolute, just a very physical, tough dude that he's hard to bring down. You know, you're not going to arm tackle him, and he takes a lot of pride in either making the first guy miss or running him over.
Mario, what's the backstory on the trick play, the touchdown reception by Cam Ward?
Texas to Texas, meaning Arroyo to Cam Ward, 2 Texas guys. That was the name of the play.
Mario, do you
What was the story behind it? You know, down there you get a lot of cover zero. You know, it's I mean, it was just something that, you know, Coach Dawson cooked up with the rest of the staff, and it was the right time to call it. You know, it was the right time to call it, and I think the fans got a kick out of it as well. And, you know, Cam got himself a touchdown.
We're going to do a couple more for Coach.
Coach, after you did the in between quarters interview, going from the third to the fourth, you turned to your sideline and said, "Come on, man." Was there something you were upset with? Effort, just trying to motivate your guys for the last 15 minutes? What was that all about?
I'm not sure exactly the reference. I know that when it comes to the fourth quarter, we win the fourth quarter. You know, we win the fourth quarter. It's very important to us. When we throw 4 fingers, it means something. And we just always got to have intensity, energy. You know, I think those 2 guys back there exemplified that tonight. And I just think, look, there's nothing worse than a coach that just stands there with a thumb in his nose. You know what I mean? I mean, whatever we always can do to help our guys and bring energy to the sidelines, we do. These guys bust their butts, and it's awesome to have an insane crowd, but it's just as important to have a great sideline, to see your brothers and your teammates supporting you and bringing the juice.
Mario, you had 3 straight close wins before this week. How good did it feel to get a decisive and controlling win?
I mean, to me, the most important thing is that we play our best football. You know, and at the end of the day, it's all these games are playoff games. They're all conference games. They all mean something. So the goal is to be 1-0, and our goal is to be 1-0 and play our best football as well. This was progress in that direction. Again, hats off to the defense. They set the tone. They did it with the front 7, and then the back end guys, you know what they did tonight? They communicated really well. They were just thinking lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. That's what we did early in the season. And I think we're back on track in doing that. We got some things to clean up, but certainly looking forward to getting back in there and being 1-0 for the week. And again, critically important, you know, to go out there and beat this program and to be undefeated in the state of Florida. I think it sends a strong message. I think the entire all recruits, in-state, out-of-state, can now clearly see the trajectory of this program versus the trajectory of the other programs.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.